is to know, from masterpieces to deep fried tacos. And if the movie sucks, you might hear them say, there's no telling where the guys will take you. Get ready for a spoiler. Won't say it twice, cause we already warned you. Better watch out, it's gonna ruin the plot. Real spoilers. Real spoilers. Real spoilers.
Broadcasting from the lush but not lavish studios located in the basement of the O'Keefe Institute for Advanced Film Snarkitude, this is Real Spoilers, episode 760, Talk Dirty to Me, the Bret Michaels story.
I feel like that would be like the weird. Like, that's what I want to see from the Bret Michaels story.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
the weird version of it.
And
You know,
Daniel
there's-
Radcliffe plays him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be so good. That'd be great.
You know, there was already a movie called Talk to Me, right?
No.
Yeah, starring
Is it
Don.
romantic? Is
No,
it?
starring Don Cheadle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he played like Petey Green, a DJ, a famous DJ from Washington that kind of was the
That does kind of
yeah,
ring a
like
bell.
I mean, Mike Epps, Cedric the Entertainer, Taraji P Henson, like it was. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it was. It's actually if as someone who grew up loving radio, it was
Sure.
an interesting story.
That's fair.
You know, but yeah, there's already been a movie called that. So let's go around the table and everyone can introduce themselves before I forget to have us go around the table so everyone can introduce themselves.
This is Joe.
This is Kevin.
And this is Tom. Shameless plugs. Don't forget we're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, iHeart, TuneIn. Wherever you find a podcast, you can find us while you're there. Don't forget to follow us, rate, review, subscribe, all the things. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Real Spoilers. Like the page, join the group. It's called the League of Show Shares. We don't have any show shares this week because
nobody shared the show. God damn it.
Between the last recording and this one.
Yeah, last week's episode, they were like, that was so bad.
We're done.
I am. They
Told you guys.
Yeah.
Tried to tell you, but
But we're actually
should have done the Equalizer 3.
we're recording this immediately following.
does that rabbit have headphones on?
It does. That rabbit does have
The whole
headphones on.
time.
Yeah, for months now. Yeah. But anyway, for people that there's a stuffed bunny rabbit on the podcast table,
on.
and it has headphones on. Yes. So, but anyway, we're
audio
recording
guy.
this episode immediately following the Haunting the Venice episode because I am going on a cruise, so I won't be here to record an episode.
Yeah.
So we're doing two back to back. So because of that, we're backing up and hitting a movie that we didn't hit because it came out at the same time as something big.
Yeah.
And so, but we're gonna talk about.
it's out on digital now.
But
so.
yeah.
It's spooky time.
Yeah, but it just hit streaming just in time for Halloween. And so we're backing up.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget our Patreon, patreon.com/real spoilers, $5 a month, bonus content. We like you more. And then you can watch these on YouTube.
There it is.
Boom. There's
You got
all
it. Good job.
YouTube.com/@realspoilers. Easy to remember.
Easy to remember.
Thanks, YouTube.
Thanks for not making it easy for anyone
Yes.
I think we have like 375
I think you're right.
or 60
Yeah.
something. Like we're creeping
There
up
is,
there.
I feel bad. We do reference like people that leave us reviews all the time,
Yeah.
and there is one dude that does comment on our videos fairly regularly. And
Yeah.
I just want to I need to make sure I call him out because not call him out,
Don't
but
call him out.
but like
Jeez.
shout him
Don't
out.
do
I
that.
guess is
No,
more.
he's. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, it's God dang it, at Matt Goffishly, at Matt Goffishal TV.
Yes, there
There it is.
official TV. Yes.
And then
Matt official TV.
somebody
How
else-
did you
somebody
try to
else-
combine that.
because it's Matt GOFFICIAL TV.
Okay.
Yeah, and then somebody else said, "This is actually pretty funny." Is he going to call her Tessa for the whole podcast? Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Because I didn't remember what her name was. That's the answer to that.
Oh Lord, yeah.
We called her Mary too the whole
Well,
time.
They don't know that.
That's true. Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
He fixed it.
No, you didn't.
Well, no, I only left one in there.
Oh, did you?
There's a little Easter egg for
I
people.
heard it, and I was just like, well,
I edited a lot of them out.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
There was one I couldn't, and I didn't care enough to try to figure it out. So, but the others are all fixed.
Cool.
We just call her Warren. Everyone just calls her like Warren. Like I just removed the first name.
That's really good. That's really good.
So anyway, there's all that. Let's dig in to talk to
there, and I would say in the last 6 months, we had Barbarian, we had Smile.
We didn't have Barbarian in 6 months.
It's from 2022.
Was that
We
really
talked
that
about
long
this,
ago? Oh, yeah.
last year.
So, okay,
It's on
so we
sale
had-
on Vudu right now for $5.
It's fantastic.
It might not be by the time people hear this
It's
episode.
so good.
But
Barbarian, you had Smile, you've had this Pearl and X, so you've kind of had this not resurgence, but there has been kind of this.
I wouldn't call it
indie
resurgence
horror.
because I think like smaller indie horror has been on quite a run for the last 10 years.
I think we started to get those reboots, the requels and the reboots and the Scream and Halloween.
Yeah,
and
I
all
don't
that
consider
stuff.
those part of it.
No.
Even I think the Scream ones have been pretty good, but I wouldn't. That's not indie.
No, not at all. But I think like A24 and the Blumhouse have been pumping out
Yeah, it's
some
A24
really
Blumhouse
good,
for sure.
really good stuff. And I got to tell you, this is fantastic.
This is more what I'm
This
looking for.
is-
When we talk about those last two horror movies that were total snoozes, it's like this was interesting.
It's an insanely brilliant concept, but it's also it kind of has themes from It Follows or the kids trying to figure out how to beat the demon, right? Like, so those themes are there, but
And
it's
to be
done
like-
in such an interesting manner.
To be addicted to a supernatural thing like that, to use it like a drug, it's like such.
Do you think that's what she was? I felt like she.
I think so because they kept talking about whenever they would come out of it, they'd be like, "Oh my god, that felt amazing."
That's
They
true.
do the
That's
they
true.
do the montage. The like usually it'd be in a movie of kids getting high and stuff, and it was them all talking to the spirits,
Do
like
something, yeah.
like a drug montage. Like it's such an interesting way to like be addicted to it. I've never seen that in a supernatural sense where they're
Yeah.
getting high from the experience. Yeah.
So, I wanted to see this, and unfortunately, I missed it in theaters, which is a shame. I should have seen this in theaters. That's on me.
Yeah, you should have.
I
We're
should
really
have.
disappointed
I
in
know.
you.
That's a story, Mike.
I don't even know who you are anymore.
Trust me, I hear you. But this is man, again, just talking about like Barbarian and Smile, which are just these kind of concepts that I would say 15 years ago don't get made.
Yeah.
Right. You see this thing. It's a YouTube short, which Smile kind of was, I think, initially.
Did they do that?
I think there
know
were
that
like
light switch one was a
yeah,
YouTube
lights.
short.
Oh, Lights
Lights
Out.
Out.
Lights
Yeah,
Out
that was
absolutely
a-
was.
yeah.
That's a great short.
Or Slender Man.
Oh.
I mean, that was like an internet urban legend that got
yeah.
turned into a movie. So
Yes.
I feel like it's internet based.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. But yeah, this is the kind of horror. Do I love bad?
Oh, you do.
Oh, yes, I do. But I always appreciate when there are new voices in horror and they're able to tell just a super interesting and well-crafted, scary horror movie.
And this is the rare occasion where YouTubers make a feature film, and it turns
Is that
out
what
really
is
good.
that who they were?
Yeah,
Yeah.
these are YouTubers.
Okay.
RackaRacka
Yeah.
is their YouTube Australian
RackaRacka.
is their Australian YouTube channel, known for its live action horror comedy videos.
Okay,
And-
we'll have to check them out.
I'm going to say listen to real spoilers because if you remember, Creepy Joe used to be in a kangaroo pouch. And they put that kangaroo in the movie. I think that's a shout out.
Man, I hope so. Man,
I'd
I hope
like
so.
to
He didn't
think
have, that
so.
kangaroo didn't have a mustache. That creeperoo had a mustache in those pictures.
Why else would an Australian know about kangaroos?
That's true.
See?
no
God
other
forbid.
reason whatsoever.
God forbid.
Real spoilers, listener. Confirmed.
So yeah, this is an original story where they have this ceramic hand that has all this different
Well,
writing.
we don't
on
really know what it is. They claim it's a mummified
it. They
hand.
do.
Now,
but
we
doesn't
don't-
it break? I guess a mummified hand would break though.
Yeah, they never really say.
Yeah, they say it's the hand of a psychic or
Something like that.
Someone's clairvoyant
Yeah,
or whatever.
that was
like
that was embalmed.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they like plastered over
But
it.
we have no way to know if that's accurate. Like the way the movie presents it, like even they don't know. They're just
I
like,
have to think it's real though because the stuff is really like
I meant the reason behind it. If/when they make a sequel, they could totally flip it
Yeah.
Oh,
without
sure, sure.
undermining what they've established. Because it's basically just like, I don't know, maybe it's this. That's not what we're here for.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, that,
You know?
I got big old It Follows vibes from that
Yeah.
because they don't explain that thing at all.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. This
It's
force
like a
of nature.
porn. You're not here for a plot.
Right.
Get to the money
But,
shots.
or even Smile is kind of similar where they don't explain.
yeah, no,
what
you
this
don't need
thing
to.
is.
And people keep getting rid of this thing for obvious reasons, but people use it and then all of a sudden once
Something happens.
and then people get rid of it to the next person and they explain like I got it from a friend who got it from a friend because people keep passing this thing like
Right.
get this thing away from me. It's kinda like-
Worst hand job ever.
I don't know. That guy seemed to be really enjoying some of the things that were going on.
Yeah, it's true. And
I think it's funny that the two most disturbing images in the movie, neither of them are violent or horror based.
Dog and foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, the foot one.
Oh,
Boy, that like.
do you ever think like, okay, how clean is the foot? Like for movie, like when they're
Right.
filming the movie, the guy's like, okay, I took 3 showers. We're like washing with total sand.
I just got a pedicure.
Yeah, like how much do they prep
He's-
for a real person? putting
He's
a foot in
on
their
set
mouth?
like with it. He's like, I didn't put it on the floor.
I didn't touch it,
didn't-
like-
it's like
Yeah.
it hasn't touched anything.
you know they have to, and like they're I don't know if they like.
There's probably someone whose job is to wash his foot right before
Oh,
they
yeah.
film the scene.
Because that's just got to be so weird.
And
I always-
it's-
They get a
I-
Catholic priest to do it. They filmed this over Lent.
Yeah, but also it's not like it was a toe.
Right.
That gal had his foot. That gal had his
She was
foot.
deep footing it.
She was,
And
every toe.
Two, it's the demon and like whoever played the demon
Oh,
and
that's
her
true.
both
Yeah.
had to put the foot in their mouth.
Yeah,
So,
that's a
like,
good point.
Anyway, I always think of when there's weird stuff that is practical. I think, how did they film that, and what's the prep like?
Right.
For,
I know. I was thinking the
Yeah.
same thing. Or is it even a real foot? Are they?
like, did they replace?
Did they
yeah,
replace the
that's-
foot so she didn't have to
They
do
pulled
it?
a misery.
When they're interviewing her, they're like, "What is your opinion on sucking a foot?"
You don't have a foot thing, do you?
She's like, when you said sucking I was really afraid where it was going to go, and somehow you didn't say, but it was worse.
Was Quentin Tarantino a producer on this movie?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Yeah. So the cold open of this is we have this dude Colton, I think is the guy's name.
Cole.
Cole. He's going
Cole
through,
and Duckett.
which I mean, like this is a very Australian movie.
Yes.
Everybody,
Watch it with the subtitles on.
It is sometimes you have to because
Yeah.
there's another one I think called Wolf Creek that is also Australian, and man, that one is hard to watch because A, the subject matter, B, the main like killer has one of the thickest Australian accents I've ever heard on film.
Spoilers,
That's not a spoiler.
isn't it?
No.
Oh, do you know who the killer is the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I've never seen it.
Like, it's not a mystery movie.
No.
It's not like
No.
who's the
It's not like,
I
hey,
didn't- I didn't-
Jason's the killer.
Yeah.
Gasp.
yeah.
Well, part one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he wasn't.
That's right. Yeah, that's how poor Drew Barrymore lost her guts in Scream 1. Spoilers for Scream 1, sorry. So the brother shows up at this party and he's freaking out because he can't find his brother. So he walks into this room and his brother's doing what his brother's doing. And he's like, all right, man, like we got to go. Like we're going to leave. And as they're walking out, people at this party have stopped and are like taking pictures because the brother is kind of cut up and he's not in good shape. And out of nowhere, the brother I think it's a brilliant misdirect where he grabs a knife and like stabs his own brother in the back and then walks outside and just like, the ice is going to break. Christopher Walken, Stephen King,
Dead Zone.
The Dead Zone.
Yeah.
It's a very Dead Zone-esque murder scene. If you haven't seen that, I cannot recommend that enough. He just like jams the knife into his face, and then we're like, it's credits. It's
They
like,
hook you
holy
right from the get.
yeah. And so we're
He's
introduced.
very strong.
well,
Like
that's-
that. I don't know how feasible that is.
if you go through the eye,
I mean, you'd really have to have good aim and be very strong.
that is both are correct.
Yeah.
You're possessed by demons, I guess. You can do.
Get a little
I've seen those Evil Dead
a
movies.
little extra oomph. So we're introduced to our three main characters, and unfortunately I don't remember their names, but
It's is
girl
there-
1, girl 2, boy 1.
there's a Riley.
I think that's the brother.
Okay. Yeah, Riley's the brother.
Yeah,
And then
the other two.
So let's see here.
Mia.
Okay,
Mia's
Mia's
the
main,
friend.
What?
who's the girl with the dead mom?
Mia, that's Mia.
Okay,
Yeah, Mia's like the main character. I'd
Okay.
say.
Yeah.
So Mia her mother has passed, is dead, and there's kind of this. She feel like there's something wrong, right? So the story is that the dad shows up and he can't get into this.
The dad was asleep on the couch.
Yes.
The mom was locked in the bedroom.
I thought it was the bathroom. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I thought it was the bedroom. Okay.
But he's trying to get into the door and he can't because she has slumped on top of the door and he can't open the door because it opens in, right?
Yeah.
And when he finally does, she's gone. She's
She's
died.
OD'd.
She's OD'd. Yeah.
But like, I still feel like there was more to that story than they were telling us, because they said that she had wood from the door under her fingernails, like she was trying to claw her way out.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm like, you don't OD and try to claw your way out of a bathroom.
yeah, you just kind of call it a day.
You either fall asleep or you open the door.
Right.
Like, you don't have to claw.
I
Interesting.
wonder. Yeah, there was a lot of interesting misdirects there, because it did seem like the dad did something.
Yeah.
But then it seemed like the demons were messing with her and trying to convince her.
Oh,
of
they
that.
absolutely
So
were.
I think there were some really good misdirects, because it kept you guessing, like, what is really going on here?
Right. And I think, man, I think the beginning of this is so smart, because they give you time to. What's the other gal's name? The other character?
Jade.
The friend.
Jade.
Yeah.
They give you time to learn, to learn about Jade and Mia and their friendship, but at the same time, they've got, with TikTok and Instagram and videos, you're seeing videos of this hand and what it's doing to people. So while it's not thrown in your face immediately, you're at least given like hints of what this thing is, or what they say that it is, because I think Mia's like, it's bullshit. Like, none of this is real. They're just putting on a show for TikTok or whatever. The mean girl, the mean person.
Yeah, I think they're non-binary.
I think you're probably right.
Because I think they used they pronouns, didn't they?
Possibly.
I thought they did.
That's possible.
Haley is
The person who
Non-binary.
has the hand
Right.
at this point.
Zoe Terakes is the actor.
Okay.
Haley.
Haley has this hand, and they throw parties, and everybody gets involved with the hand. So Jade is more popular than Mia. Mia is kind of like an outcast. Nobody really doesn't like her, but she is just kind of weird.
Yeah.
She's also dealing with
With a lot.
of stuff. Since her mom's death, she's just not the same. And her relationship with her dad is strained, and she won't talk to him. She thinks, there's something else that he's not telling her. And so she's just gone to live with Jade's family, basically. So her and the friend and Jade and Riley, the brother, are very close. And
Yeah. I did think it was interesting. They kind of played with that there might be like some sort of, because I think Riley is younger, but there is sort of like an attraction between Riley and Mia.
You think so?
I do
didn't
think
really
they kind
see
of,
that.
I kind of like, when
That was just like an adoptive little brother thing. I didn't really think there was.
maybe they go to this party, and the person was like, why did you bring her? Like, what, and then they bring the brother as well. They don't want Mia around because she's just weird. So they bust out the hand, and nobody really wants to do it because these videos are kind of creepy. So
First off, I would like to say to the creators of this film, thank you for ignoring the impulse to call this movie Talk to the Hand.
it's fair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's very good.
Yes.
That would be a real RackaRacka.
Oh, man. So nobody wants to mess with the hand, right? And Mia, wanting to fit in, says, I'll do it. And
Because she thinks it's BS. She's
Right.
like, whatever.
So the deal, I think you have to. So the first thing you do is you shake hands with the hand, and you say, talk to me. And when you say talk to me, that opens the door to.
They light a candle.
Right. You
They
gotta, like,
touch
over
the
candle.
hand, and then you have 90 seconds. If you stay connected to it for more than 90 seconds, then the spirits haunt you and like won't go away.
Yeah.
So you
Which
can
I gotta tell you, these kids are real bad with time. Because Jesus. So
But they trick her into doing it, basically.
do they?
That she stays longer than 90. She ends up staying longer because she sees her mom. It's tricking her to keep her on the hook.
No, she didn't see her mom yet, does she?
Well,
She
I'm-
sees
I'm
that
not
weird
saying-
like burnt
I'm,
lady.
I'm saying eventually.
Oh yes,
She-
yes.
the-
You mean the demons?
The
tricked her.
demons
Yeah,
end
yeah.
up tricking her because when Joel, what's his name? The brother?
Riley.
Riley's the brother?
Yeah.
Okay. When the brother ends up seeing the demon or whatever, she sees her mom. She's like, wait just a second.
Yes,
And then-
you're right. You're
and
right.
then that's why she hangs on, and then it ends up following him.
Right.
Because
Yeah, because
they keep tricking them to keep them on the hook, basically.
the demon changes its voice to Mia's mom.
Yeah.
And yes, you're right. And man, oh boy, when we get there, that was tough.
So she does it, and she sees a weird ghost.
Like burnt lady.
Yeah.
And it's very creepy.
Good imagery,
it's-
like
I
good
think
creepy
They
effects.
change her face just a little bit. Her like head kind of tilts to the side, and she has this weird voice.
I think the actor does a great job when they put the big contacts on, so
Yeah.
they're like
Yeah.
big dilated eyes, and then she's very creepy, very much Deadite like, reminding me of Evil Dead, and just she does a great job with the performance because I really felt like she was possessed. It just
Her voice. They do a voice. This is we talked about The Conjuring. That second one is good, but there's a scene in that one where the demon or where the ghost won't talk to Ed Warren. It's Ed Warren.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Patrick Wilson. Unless Patrick Wilson turns his back, right? And the way they film that is you hear the voice and the girl is like it's focused on Ed. And the girl's out of focus, and then there's like a thing that kind of grows behind the girl. And it's
cool.
a very eerie, creepy image.
I like that out of focus or like in the background, weird things going on that are just.
They do that in this one where there's a scene where Mia is like looking at the corner, like she sits up in bed and she's like looking at it's the weird foot scene where you think you're looking at maybe like a chair with a jacket on it or a pile of laundry, and then it starts like it moves, and I was like, God damn, that was a good one. So she does it, and then she lets go, and she was like, oh my God, that was amazing. And then they have that montage of all of them kind of doing different things. And then I think Mia does ask the question, like, can we ask to talk to someone? Or maybe Riley does it, and he just does it on accident.
Yeah, Riley wants to do it, and his sister's like, hell no, you're not doing this.
Well, first we get the Christian boyfriend does it. So Mia, basically they want to throw another party, and Mia and the other Jade go to the other person like, hey, what would it take for you to like come to our place and do this? And finally they talk them into doing it. So they all show up at the house. I do love this. This mom's kind of one of my favorite characters where she's like, what time's the party? And they're like, what party? What are you talking about? And she would go to like each kid
Trying to trick them.
And like it just wouldn't work, which I like that. I thought that was funny. The whole sneaking out thing. She's like, I'm not sneaking out. I'm not doing that. And of course she is. So they get to Jade's house and everybody does it. And then Dan decides to do it. And it gets a little weird. This is like, he says some things that are triggers for Jade and Mia, where it kind of says that like
implying that he's not attracted to Jade
at all.
And yeah.
And he might be attracted to Mia.
Because they dated very briefly.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, because they said that there was all the lines about like, well, he was my boyfriend first, but she was like, it was in the 5th grade. You held hands for 10 minutes.
She's like she makes him soft and things like that. And it's like, oh dang. And the entire time the demon is looking at Mia while that's happening.
But did we mention though that Mia held on for a little too long in the beginning? They went over 90 seconds.
Is that what they did?
So that's why
they
it's
tried to pull the
on.
hand out, and she was like,
oh, she
was like clamped on it, and they couldn't break her free.
So that's why it's kind of following her around now. Things are creepy from this point on with Mia because
whether it's like a nightmare or
but it's really following her because she held on too long.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. So Dan does it, and he kind of like starts to.
He's like feeling himself.
Yeah, and then he starts humping, like he falls on the floor and starts
the dog
like
comes over,
and the dog starts like
he
going
like full on makes out with
what does
the
PETA
dog.
think of this? Because
PETA's like, hey man,
this is another one of those things where it's like that's really happening. And I mean, I know it's like harmless. The dog's just licking the guy, but I'm like, it goes on, and I'm like,
it does go
is
on.
that like that's not right? Like I don't know. It just it's a weird thing.
It is very.
That
weird.
was another moment where I was like, did they somehow have like a puppet dog?
That's what I'm wondering because it's like, and I mean, it's not
Because that's a really good puppet.
Yeah, well done.
It's obviously supposed to be uncomfortable, and they achieve that goal.
Yes,
I really hope to see Jim Henson's workshop in the credits.
Please.
That would be great.
But
Thank
it's
you.
just the dog licking. Like it's not anything harming.
But the actor, and he's doing but the actor, the character thinks in his mind he's like making out with a girl or
and
something.
that's where it gets a little weird.
And so
that
he's definitely
kinda
like
leaning into it.
Yeah, he's leaning into it. He's responding as if he's making out with
And
somebody.
that's the weird.
Yeah,
that is the weird thing.
yeah, he commits, man,
And he
commits.
Yeah, And so he snaps out of it. Daniel snaps out of it.
He's
and
like, "Oh,
realizes what he's like, delete those videos. Delete. And the guy's like, no way.
No.
Absolutely not. So now Riley said,
never be a senator.
yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely possible.
That's
unless you're getting groped and jerked off in a Beetlejuice thing.
Oh my!
Have you not seen this?
Why would you go to Beetlejuice?
I have
and,
not
like,
seen anything that says that.
There's a video of it.
I've
It's
seen
out
the
there.
video, but I've seen her vaping.
No, there's another one.
All right.
It's
Okay.
bonkers. But also at Beetlejuice.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
all right.
just watch the show.
Just too excited. She thought Michael Keaton was going to be there.
It's showtime.
He was like, Dale.
So Riley wants to do it. And of course they're like, no, man, like, no way. But they say, what if we cut the time down? What if we do the time a little bit less?
50 seconds.
And they all agree. And
Well, they don't all agree.
I guess that's true.
Mia just kind of bullies their way into it. Like,
Yeah.
the way it's filmed, you feel like they all agree, but then when things go wrong and the other characters are like, we did not all agree. You just kind of steamrolled us, and she does.
And there's a reason, right? Because she's kind of under the influence of this thing. And as we go forward in this movie, we see that the demons will influence her in real life, right? Whether we think she thinks somebody is her dad, or we think somebody is,
Well, like, for whatever reason, and I don't think they explain it, and they don't need to, but like, they're really focused on the brother, and so like they're like manipulating her to possess him, and I don't know why, but they're like showing an interest in
fresh
him.
meat.
Yeah.
But they're all fresh meat.
I guess that's true.
For whatever reason, though, like, even when she does it, like, it's like focusing on him. There's something about him that's pulling them, and so they're convinced. They're like manipulating her to get to him, and then so they do it, and
he holds on.
This
to
part, man, is like this is the gnarly.
This is, I mean, it reminded me of Barbarian.
Yeah,
Like it's just, or even like that end sequence in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like where they're, Brad Pitt's just smashing.
but this
people's
kid
faces.
just smashing his own head
Yeah.
against the desk, and then basically just about to kill himself.
He
and
is
Jade
pulling
runs
his own
in.
eyeball out.
Yeah, but trying to pull his eye out. I mean, this is really gnarly stuff. This is the stuff in horror, like when we talk about The Nun 2, where I'm like, there wasn't really anything that made me like squeamish.
Yeah.
Or, there was
I
no
don't- so,
gore.
okay.
And this one was like, oh, I was sitting there.
I don't think you need to be squeamish or gore to make a successful horror movie.
No, you don't need
but
to.
it does have an effect when it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, in Smile, there's a scene where you're just like, what is happening? Like, what the fuck? And that's, I think when you can get a what the F moment with your gore, like at a Friday the 13th, you're like, I expect you to chop that guy in half.
You slashed somebody's neck. Of
But I
course you
expect,
did.
I expect to happen. But when something that's kind of a little more grounded, you're like, oh. So he's about to like
Finish himself
finish,
off.
yeah, and his sister kind of runs in and puts her hand on the, like you would protect a baby from hitting their head on the table, and she messes up her hand, but it does save Riley's life. They take Riley to the hospital, and of course
He
everybody's
is
like,
messed up.
his face, it's a fantastic
Everyone's
makeup.
like, and like the two main guys are like, we got to get our stories straight, and we're there on probation or something.
they were not in a good spot.
Yeah, and so they're like, we got to make sure everyone's got, so the police.
That's true, because Jay does say they don't want Mia there because they're like, you did this.
Yeah.
Like you put this into play, basically.
But they were already being investigated for the opening act. They're part of
the other guys were,
So that's why they're on probation or something. They're on thin ice, and if someone else dies, like they think this kid's gonna die. He's
Right. Oh, he's gonna.
He's
He
real
Did some
close.
serious head damage. Yeah, for sure.
And so they're like, this happened before, and now we're here, and this kid's about to die, so they're screwed. So we got to get our story straight. And the police come, interview people, and take the kid to the hospital.
And the mom is like, "What did you give him?" Like, and they're like, "We didn't do anything. Like, we didn't give it. He just, and they won't admit to like what they really did."
But she's blaming.
Well,
Mia.
even if they did admit to it, like,
I guess that's true.
like, oh, we have a creepy mummified hand that we
Right.
talked to the dead with. Well, like, what'd you give him?
What did you give him?
Yeah. But so the mom is blaming Mia for all this.
Yes. Because Mia is kind of an outsider, and she does kind of have.
But
this,
she has a history of drug use, right? Because they keep saying like you've.
But they keep talking. She's like, it was just marijuana.
I don't know what it was, but they allude to. She keeps saying that Mia, maybe to cope with what happened with their mom. I don't remember them like fleshing out the whole backstory, but
no,
they know. Everyone knows that Mia has some kind of history with substance of some sort,
right?
And so the mom just jumps on her like, "What did you give her? What did you give him? What did you? I know it was you. Whatever. Just get out of here." And obviously, Jade's next is like, "You let him do this. Like
you talked him into doing it."
And yeah, you let him do it, and so everyone's mad at Mia.
Right. Except Daniel. Because Daniel has also seen what's on the other side of this thing. So Daniel kind of says, look, I'll take you home. Like, it's fine. Like, we'll get some sleep. We'll come back in the morning. So they have this moment, and I do like where there is definitely something still there between the two, without question. And while they're doing this, I like that when we see them asleep, Daniel's facing one way and Mia's facing the other way. Yeah, like
there's still an attraction on some level, but they're also trying. They're not trying to hook up or anything. They're both being very respectful of the current relationship status.
Absolutely. So Mia starts to have a nightmare, and I think it is of watching her dad kind of like open the door when her mom falls out.
Yeah, I think she is seeing that replayed.
Something.
That sounds right.
So she snaps up awake, and when she does that, you get the whole breathing heavy, and the room is dark, and this is what I was talking about earlier, where you kind of see this thing out of focus, and you're just like, is that a pile of clothes? What the hell is that? And then it moves. It stands up and not army crawls, but baby crawls over to the bed.
Toe sucker.
Yeah. And like puts all 5 toes and about the ball of the foot.
And she's all the way to the ankle.
And she's
like the Linda Lovelace of foot sucking.
She's like, wake up. And he wakes up, but it cuts to real life, and it's her doing it.
Going to town. And she's got like the milky eyes.
And he's like, what the hell are you doing?
And so she, of course, he freaks out.
Had a little milkiness of his own.
Yeah, I bet he was.
A new fetish was born that day.
He's like, oh, who knew?
But and I'm reading, so she stole the hand after that whole party mishap.
Yes.
And she used it to try to contact her mom, and the mom is like, there's more to this. He's not telling you. And so the demons are trying to convince her that the dad
had something to do with it. Yeah. And you need to go help Riley is also like, Riley's in trouble.
Yeah.
So we go back to the hospital. And we get another good look at Riley, who is, it's bad. It's real bad. And they're giving him like a sponge bath. And they're just
he reminded me of Mark Jackson, the guy who designed the Real Spoilers logo.
Yeah.
R.I.P. It looked like I'd seen Mark Jackson look close to that sometimes after his seizures.
Oh, man.
They were rough.
Dang.
Now he just seemed have it only on half of his face.
Sure.
But like where this kid, it's a horror movie, but it's like, I was like, oh man, I remember seeing Mark Jackson look like that. It's rough.
Dang. Yeah. Which, as a medical person, that's how you could explain that, is the kid had a seizure and messed, you don't have to say a demon possessed by son.
But in front of witnesses, it wasn't a seizure. He was like deliberately doing it over. He wasn't flopping around. He was,
So I think Mia shows up.
So Haley and Joss tell Mia, Jade, and Daniel where they got the hand, and they track down Cole, who tells them like,
"Oh, this is on the bus."
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
I don't know how they knew that kid was going to be there catching a bus.
That was spot on.
It's his bus route. But they're basically saying that like the spirits hold on Riley will eventually weaken on its own.
But he's dying now. Is basically what they're saying. So
it's like, he's going to be dead soon. There's no time to wait around.
Right. So Mia goes back. Oh no. Does the kid just flips out, right? Like they're giving him a sponge bath.
Riley comes home from the hospital.
Riley has another moment because he's in the hospital and he starts banging his head against
he's not home.
He's ceramic tile.
That's the hospital.
That's still at the hospital. Right. And his sister's like trying to take care of him, so he bites his sister. And then he falls on the ground. And man, this is another one where he is just like rearing his head back and smashing it into the porcelain and laughing the entire time.
It very much reminds me of the Deadites in Evil Dead. Because
I
they're
can
like
see that. I
possessed
could-
people,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they're harming themselves and others and laughing and everything. It's
Yeah, I think yes, that's a very good comparison. So the family put Riley back into bed, and basically they sedate him because they say every time he wakes up, he's trying to kill himself.
Right.
And Mia decides to like, she has they get the mom out of the room, and Mia says, I will try to go talk to him, because she feels like if you say I want to talk to Riley, that Riley will show up. But instead, she gets this little girl. And I think this is probably one of the most unnerving scenes. There's two that I think are kind of but this one where she asks this little, she does the whole thing, talk to me and let me in, blah, blah. And the little girl says, yeah, he's here and I can take you to him. And she was like, okay. And the little girl says, I let you in. And then Mia is transported to like this nightmare fuel thing where these demons are tearing Riley apart. And I in my head I was like, can you just grab him? Just get in there and grab him. Get him out of there.
I don't think it works.
I don't think so.
yeah, it does not look like a good situation for
No,
Riley.
honestly, it reminded me a lot of when in the director's cut of Dr. Sleep, when the True Knot go after Timothy Chalamet. No, who's the kid? Oh, dang
Flounder?
it. Yes.
Jacob Tremblay.
Tremblay. Which, if you've never seen the director's cut, that scene lasts about 2 minutes longer, and it is horrifying.
Yeah, I've not seen the direct, and I like Dr. Sleep.
I think you would really like it. even
Yeah,
with
I've
watching
never
the
gotten
director's
around
cut.
to like rewatching it for the director's cut.
That's good.
It's reminded me of that. Then when that True Knot,
If you get more Rose the Hat, then it's good.
it's any Rebecca Ferguson's
Right.
all right. Yeah, it's yeah.
You're going to need a hat to hold in front of you.
I think of like Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie, like football practice. Do you have anywhere I can empty my hat? So Mia snaps back and she's like, oh boy, it is bad over there. We need to get him. They're trying to figure out how to get him out of there. And the mom, this demon of Mia goes back home, right?
Mm-hmm. The dad talks to her about that.
There's something I have to tell you.
Yeah.
There's like a note from her mom. So, but this is where like I was a little confused here. Where is that note real, or is that something that the demon has made?
I think this is really the dad reading a suicide note.
Okay.
Because that's the thing, is that she suspects there's more to it, and the demons are trying to convince her. But I do think that the mom committed suicide, and the dad didn't share the note until now. But here's the note, and to show you, like, this is really happening.
Right.
But then the demons are like, don't believe his lies.
And then we get this scene where the ghost mom shows up, and she's ghost mom. He says, she's
Thursday's on.
what's that?
Thursday's on.
Yeah, that was
TNT.
Ghost, Ghost Dad.
I know.
We don't talk about that one though. She says that's not your dad. Like, that's not your dad out there. And there's like a banging on the door, and
we don't see the letter, right? So like,
I don't think so.
he could be reading anything theoretically. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's like, as viewers, I don't know that we truly know.
Kind of an unreliable narrator. A little
Yeah,
bit.
like without seeing if what letter is in her handwriting.
Right.
Not that we know what her
But,
handwriting looks like.
as a viewer, I think it keeps you guessing. But I do
Yeah.
believe that the dad's telling the truth and the letter's real. But we, as we're watching it, we're like, is he?
The thing I struggle with at the end of the day, as an avid Dateline viewer, is the wood from the door under her fingernails.
It's a red flag.
That is not a suicide attempt.
That is a red
That is
flag.
not an OD. Like that is someone trapped in a room.
Can you theoretically, could you realize you made a mistake, but then be weakened, or like you don't have time and you're just like flipping?
I feel like if you're so weak you can't open the door, you wouldn't have enough strength to
dig your
scratch hard
fingers in.
enough to dig
Yeah.
wood off of a door.
It is confusing. There are some
Yeah.
mixed things there which I don't really understand.
But I think
I think that's purposeful.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
They want you to have these questions and doubts.
Well, that's what I mean
Yeah.
for the story, like, because we at this point don't know that the demon isn't really her mom, and maybe trying to help her and be like, the dad did it.
Right.
I do think at the end of the day it was a demon tricking her.
absolutely was
But
a
in
demon.
that point in time, you're supposed to think, well, that doesn't sound like a
Right.
suicide attempt, and we still think the dad maybe isn't telling her everything.
Right.
So I think it works for the narrative, but now that we've seen it, it's like, well, then, yeah, how did
what was going on?
well, yeah.
Yeah. So the dad, well, who we assume is like demon dad, breaks through the door and attacks Mia, and it's a pretty good fight. Like they're going back and forth, and Mia kind of is looks like she's pretty much done for.
This was the hallway scene in Old Boy.
Kinda, sort of. This was the scene where I remember I audibly said, "Oh shit!"
Oh yeah, I know. Just like, oh,
because the real dad is like, here's all the commotion. He can't get into the door, and I'm sure he's like,
and it looks like she's about to kill herself with scissors.
No.
She's on the ground with scissors by herself. So
I see what you're saying. Yes, from his point of view.
Yeah, so he's coming in to like
say.
I think the demon. It looks like she's about to kill herself. He sees that and he's like, "Oh my god!" But then she's fighting with him.
And then she
in her head
stabs her dad in the neck,
and we see that it's real dad. So it's like, oh,
I went, oh, and then it was like he's gushing blood, and she comes to,
and then, of course, yeah,
and then. If I feel like at this point she's fully gone.
Yeah, I mean, after killing her dad, I mean,
she has crossed the Rubicon.
Yeah, that's right.
Although she has not killed her dad, but she has attempted to kill her dad.
That's true.
Although I don't believe that her dad would have lived through that.
But he did.
Anything I don't believe that he would have lived through that.
That's what he's saying.
And anything other than a movie. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like
a pair of shears to the jugular doesn't mean you get to live.
Yeah,
by all accounts,
as his carotid artery is
blood.
Ron Jeremy all over the place.
I mean, how long?
Linda Lovelace and a Ron Jeremy.
Yeah,
30 minutes, an hour. Like by the time that girl gets there
Jade
and
gets
calls
there,
instead of
someone,
a ding ding, I get a grunt grunt.
Yeah, but like, yeah, there's no way he wouldn't have bled out. There's just, there's just no way.
No,
but
he'd have to. I think of that scene in Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah,
when the little girl bites the guy's neck, and Anna Polly is like trying to reach into the wound and like snip. Like, like she's trying to reach into this guy's wound and trying to like grab the artery, and she can't do it. But this guy's got a knife in his neck.
Yeah. There's just no way. But she believes she's killed him. I mean, anybody would at that point. He's got stabbed in the neck.
I think that's Jason O'Mara.
What?
I think that's the voice of Batman, like in the New 52. I think.
Really?
I think maybe the husband in Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, in Dawn of the Dead.
I'm sorry.
Like, okay, no,
no.
gotcha.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Jason O'Mara.
Okay.
The demon mom is now kind of directing traffic at this point. She says that, no pun intended.
Yeah, it works.
So she gets to Mia gets to the hospital, and so, okay, in this scene,
the mom says that the only way Riley is going to break free is to kill him. And it was foreshadowed earlier with the kangaroo. Because her and Riley passed by that kangaroo.
Put it out of its misery.
And she couldn't do it.
Right.
And so now it's like she's realizing that if she doesn't put him out of his misery, he's going to be tortured by these, and the demons will never stop messing with them all.
That's not Riley's mom, right? Where she's like, no, you're part of this family. Like, stay here and talk to him. I didn't think that was Riley's mom. I thought that was another demon. Like,
oh, like that. You're not saying the
vision?
actress wasn't okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Like a vision. Yeah, like she's seeing these demons everywhere that are influencing her decisions.
Oh, I thought that was the mom finally figured out, because there was no the toxicology report, so there were no drugs.
Because the mom like lets her into the room and
I didn't think
leaves
that
her there.
I did not think that was the real mom.
I mean, you don't need a demon to do that, right? Like you could just, from a writing standpoint, you could just have her walk into an empty hospital room.
Yeah,
like they were, I think, trying to increase kind of the feeling of tragedy of the mom is trying to extend an olive branch to this girl who now does not deserve it because she's possessed by demons. Like before,
she's about to kill the brother,
right.
And she's like, "You're part of our family and wouldn't hurt him," and she's about to kill him.
She's like, "You're right."
Yeah,
yeah,
you're totally right. So the mom kind of leaves. And
Jade now, because she says, Jade, you got to come here. And then Jade goes there. She goes to the hospital to kill Riley, has the interaction with the mom. Jade shows up and is like,
that dude's also. This was the one part of this flick where I was like, that's weird. So Jade does find Mia's dad,
Max,
bleeding out on the floor. I hope she called an ambulance. Because the next time we see Jade, she's walking to the hospital, like, with no
Well, the fact that he miraculously survived, I'm guessing
Right.
she called an
Yes.
ambulance.
I guess that's true. That's true.
she's-
Unless she
I'm
just
a-
put a Band-Aid on it and
Like,
then
here,
left him
hold
to
this.
heal.
She's a millennial. She texted 911.
Hey, there's a guy bleeding over here. Can
Yeah.
you okay? Come get him.
Sad face emoji.
Yeah.
Crying
Oh my
blood.
God. It's
Could it
just
be
so
like
stressful.
it should be like a knife with like blood on it? Like, oh, that's bad. So
You're really triggering my anxiety. This isn't cool. You should have warned me before I came in.
why didn't you tell me? So Jade calls her mom and she's like, no, she's here. She's like, that bitch is dangerous. Like, don't let her go anywhere near Riley. So the mom kind of hustles back to the room, and of course now
He's gone.
Riley's gone and Mia's gone. And I like the nurse. She's like, he was just here, and the mom's like, well, he's not now. Like, where did he go? They can't find him. Mia is
Pushing him to an overpass.
pushing him to an overpass, and Jade sees them, and I think this scene is insanely creepy, where you see the hands of like the mom reach up over Jade, like not really over Jade or Mia's shoulders, but like kind of under her
Yeah.
arms,
To see the
and just
influences.
to
The
like
demons
a little boop. And you see something fall to the highway below, and the this is real good camera work. I think this camera work was kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
Where it pans around and you see that Jade has caught Riley, and the only one on the ground is Mia.
Yeah.
And then Mia stands up, and I was like, oh dang, like that's
In the moment, I was like, there's
yes.
no way.
Yeah.
totally agree.
Because when she does, I'm like, what?
Like, wait,
Yeah,
what?
she got-
But
okay,
What
like,
makes
good.
sense, though, but it's a head fake.
Yes. So she's walking and she sees that Riley has been saved by Jade, and she's walking like back to the hospital.
But they're like all better now, right? It's like a time jump.
There is a time jump where we see Jade like cradling Riley, and then
They're like, oh,
as
you're better. Everybody.
as Mia's walking to the hospital, we see that Riley's okay, and everybody's like,
And the dad is
and
leaving
the
the
dad is
hospital.
walking out as well. But it was at this point where I was like, oh no, she dead. Like that's because all the lights were starting to like go out
and
behind
no one
her.
sees her. It's
Yeah,
like
no one responds
They don't
to her,
talk
yeah.
to dead people.
Yeah, not in this movie. So all of the lights are going out behind her, and then her dad's walking away, and
And she sees her hands or her fingers.
her
are,
this hand is okay, but this hand's all gnarled up.
Yeah.
And I think this ending, one of the things that I do kind of miss about studio horror is nobody's really willing to give you a downer ending.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like the evil has to die.
Yeah.
The hero has to win at the end.
But not really, because they want to make 6 more, right?
Correct.
Like, you have to win for the
Kinda.
moment.
I will say though, as not good as Halloween Ends is, I don't know how you come back from that. You threw Michael Myers into
Right.
a meat grinder.
Yeah.
Like
Then his spirit left, and
they killed the other kid too. So like they
I know, but I mean, yeah.
But I will-
It's
those
as
are-
easy
those
as
are
saying
done.
that.
they're gonna reboot that thing. Like that's what's gonna happen. They're not gonna try to spin off that. They're gonna start something new.
But the ending's really cool because it goes to darkness. And you're like, oh, that sucks. She's screwed.
Right.
And then it waits for a second, and then you see a candlelight,
And you see her hand go over the candle.
and then all of a sudden she's at a party.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I didn't really 100% connect with on this one, all the other demons were very much like, blah, 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 blah. And then I don't know if it's just because they've been there so long, but like she just seemed like she was very aware and very much like, oh, I'm a demon now. Like, you know what I mean? They didn't seem like aware or like talking or, you know what I mean? She seemed like herself and like, oh, I'm a demon now.
Well, they
And
do
were
something I
like,
don't know, because, like,
"Rah."
I'm trying to remember, because, like the little girl wasn't like that.
Yeah, the little girl wasn't like that. That's true.
The little
Like,
girl wasn't at the party.
But
she
it's like-
holds the hand, and that's the.
but
that's
she's
the-
is in the hopper to potentially
Yeah,
be one. It's
true.
like chat roulette for dead
Yeah.
people.
Other than
Sometimes you
them, though,
get a
it just
good one,
seemed like
sometimes you
all
get
the
a
other
great-
ones were like, I'm a zombie ghost guy. And then she's just like
I'm trying to remember, like
she wasn't scary. And
hang on, is that true, or are you more remembering the way the living people reacted to it? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, was it the demons that were acting like that, or was it the living people reacting to encountering the demons?
no.
because a lot of times we didn't even see the demons.
We saw 2, for sure. We saw that creepy old woman,
Yeah,
and then I feel like we saw the one. Did we not see the one that Daniel saw?
Which I remember seeing one who I think was a drowning victim. She was very bloated.
That was the creepy toe sucker.
Okay.
That was the same one.
Yeah.
And then I feel like there was another one that we did see.
Yeah, I thought we did a
but
party.
but you're right though. That little girl wasn't creepy looking.
Yeah.
She looked like a normal little girl.
True. I just wonder. So I guess that kind of then starts me asking, like, what are the rules? Are some of them are like very aware? Some of them are like creepy
Maybe
monsters.
it depends on how you died.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it just depends on who you are, right?
Also
like,
true.
I mean, good people die and bad people die.
Yeah.
Like, we're all going to die eventually. And so,
But like, why are some demons trying to convince people to kill people and do stuff? But then, like, what is she gonna?
why do some people rape and other people's don't? You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Yeah,
you know,
holy
like,
shit. I did not know where that was going
like
either.
it's, but like I said, it's chat roulette. Like, you don't you know, it could be like sometimes you're gonna get a nice person.
Well, that's the little
and
girl.
sometimes you could get a monster.
Yeah, the little girl wasn't trying. She's like, I'll take you to him. I mean, you're going to see some stuff, but I'll take you to him.
This is one I would have liked to have watched over now that I know how it goes. You
Yeah.
know, I didn't have time, but I really was like, I would like to just watch this again.
No, I think it's worth a watch again.
I
think-
would agree with that.
But it was very enjoyable. I just didn't really. I'm like kind of like, well, that sucks for her. But then I'm like kind of like, what is this?
Here's
gonna
the
be
here's
like
the garbage part, right? We're getting an Exorcist movie in about a month,
Yeah.
and it's gonna have to follow this. And I'm not saying that this is on the level of The Exorcist, but good luck outperforming in story
Right.
this, which is kind of the same concept. You know, I don't know how you're gonna do it, and I don't have a lot of faith in David Gordon Green.
Is it a sequel? What is it? I
It is
No,
a,
it's a
it-
sequel.
It's a requel.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
one of those requels because they bring back what's her name,
They bring back the mom.
the mom.
Yeah.
And I think so. I may have heard a spoiler where Linda Blair is somewhere in it.
It would not surprise me.
No.
Yeah.
You kind of have to bring Reagan unless she's dead,
Yeah.
which is possible.
No,
as long as they
Blair's
don't.
alive.
I know Linda Blair's alive.
Oh, okay.
As long as they negate the Exorcist 2.
What about Exorcist 3 though?
That's fantastic.
Exorcist 3 is good.
but
Exorcist 2 is
it's
bad.
real bad. But they don't like Exorcist 3 really doesn't have. I mean, it does.
But
Ties.
there's not a lot of connective tissue.
There's
there.
no talk
Yeah.
of Reagan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Jason Isaac and George C. Scott, who was. It's funny. I always forget that the George C. Scott character is in The Exorcist. Like, that's a character that we meet, but it's
Just not played by George C. Scott.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
always confusing when they change the actors.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's supposed to be.
and
the
there was a
character.
movie in between too.
Yeah.
So I forgot even more. Yeah, man. Again, like, not independent. Like, independent horror is kind of where it's at right now. I don't.
A24 has a lot more hits than misses.
Oh, without
they
question.
really know what they're doing. I feel like they've got the right kind of movies that they pick up. Like there's a total aesthetic and the type of films that where it's just funny because they don't find it like they're picking movies up, they're
Right.
acquiring them.
But they're not ordering
I don't know.
them.
They may do like some,
Yeah.
but they're picking these movies up. But it's so weird that it's like they're different companies making these movies, but the ones they acquire all feel like
Have
what
a
you'd think an
sensibility.
A24 would be,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
they're killing it.
Ari Aster, Ty West, right? Because Pearl and X are A24.
Oh, yeah.
So like they've got like these different genres of horror that are
But the Midsommar and Hereditary
are very
those
different from Pearl and X.
But they're also good.
But they still like, yes, this makes sense in this.
It's that
Right,
art house
right. Yeah.
indie horror. Is Beau is Afraid? Was that A24 too?
Yeah.
I've not seen that
The
yet.
less said about that, the better.
Oh.
Sorry, Kevin.
Although Kevin's convinced that I will hate it.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that at all. I was.
I thought you liked it last week.
Yeah,
didn't think
I
you didn't
enjoyed
like
it, but it is like I will never watch it again.
Okay.
Sometimes that surprised you. I liked Haunting in Venice.
That's true.
I thought that was good.
That was a good
time.
point. So yeah, this is go get it.
So
Go
it's
find
cool.
it.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I'm curious what these directors will do next. I mean, I've never
Scream-
seen any of their YouTube stuff.
Scream 8
Yeah.
after Michael Landon does 7.
Yeah. So who's taking over?
Michael Landon, the guy that
He's
did
the
Happy Death Day
Happy-
and Freaky.
was
Yeah.
like, Michael Landon from Little House on
Oh
the
no,
Prairie?
his son.
Oh, it's his son?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
I'll be curious to see how that ends up.
Bringing back Nev Campbell. They paid her.
Oh, did they?
Did they cave? I didn't see
Oh.
that.
Yeah, I think that
They heard the fans.
Everybody
say,
was like,
"This
pay
is
her."
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's her franchise.
I feel like
it's-
this might be it.
Ah.
They're like, oh
How
yeah,
many times have we said that?
that's true. She survives every time.
Yeah, but every time we think like, oh, okay, well, she's done with these now, and if they
Nope.
want to make more, they kind of gotta have her.
Yeah.
like it's
I heard a
even
fun-
if it's for 2 scenes.
I heard a fun pitch for 7
Yeah,
with like they go meta on top of meta, where Ghostface is killing the people who were in Stab, like the actors who were in Stab or Scream. So you can redo the Drew Barrymore opening with Drew Barrymore. And I was like, that's kind of brilliant.
Man, I don't like.
Well, instead of calling it Stab, then they can call it Scab.
I think they got to really do something different because that last one was wearing
too fast
for me.
They pushed it out too fast.
They did, which is a shame because the one before that was really
real
good.
Yeah,
the S cream.
I won't go as far as to say the last one was bad, but it was certainly pretty weak for that.
But it's
franchise.
like, what are we doing? Like, don't keep explaining the rules. I know it's always been meta, but each Scream is really built upon the last one, where it's like, oh, things have changed.
What they should have done is what we talked about: is they show us the killer from jump.
That opening is brilliant.
Yeah,
I really thought, I mean, how clever would that be? But now they've used it. They used that trick. If they open it and we follow the killer now after they opened it and it, like they tricked us last time, like it's too soon. You can't do that now.
There's somebody put out a video of like all of the references. There's like 147 horror references in that movie.
Really?
in the last one, it's like, God dang.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
You should have spent more time focusing on your plot.
So Christopher Landon.
Sorry, yes, Chris Landon. Yeah, that's yes.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I guess that's it for this one. Let's go around the table and everyone can say where to find them.
This is Joe. You can follow me on the Twitter at JoeyButts, BUTTS21. You can also follow me on Letterboxd at the same.
This is Kevin. Follow me on Twitter at KevinRBrackett and follow and subscribe to Circle of Wizards for your video game discussions.
And this is Tom. You can follow me on Twitter at Roger Kubert or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. You can find the show online, facebook.com/Real Spoilers. Don't forget our Patreon, patreon.com/Real Spoilers. And surprise, the episode was 60 minutes, but it did not suck.
That's true.
So sometimes we got to throw a curveball at you to keep you on your toes. People probably, when they saw the runtime, were like, they didn't talk to me? I don't understand. So we did.
Sometimes we record 2 of these in a day.
Yeah, we just want to be done. We just want to be done. So anyway, that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, Amelia breaks Bugsy's neck.
Get ready for a spoiler. Won't say it twice, 'cause we already